Hello, and welcome to the Knitical Therapy Podcast. I'm Carrie, your host and Knitical Therapist. Today is April 30th, 2017, and I'm coming to you from San Luis Obispo, California. Today I have finished objects, whips, cooking adventures, and active endeavors to share with you. Before we get to those, though, I would like to just make aware that I do have a website, kniticaltherapy.com, where I will share the show notes where you can find links to everything I talk about in my episodes. You can also find me on Ravelry at Knitical Therapy. We have a Ravelry group called the Knitical Therapy Ravelry group, and we now have 9 members of that group. Thank you so much for those of you who have come over and joined us there. If you're not a member, please come over and join us. I do want to give a shout out to a few people who have who have introduced themselves in the introduction thread. That's Shalimar, Dee, and Donna. Thank you so much. It's so nice to hear from you, and I hope that you enjoy this next episode, and I look forward to seeing some other things you've been working on and maybe some places that you have gone to on adventures yourself. So I think that's everything from that standpoint. Let's get to the knitting. Let's do the finished objects first. So last week I was like almost done with these socks. These are my 2016 Christmas socks, and they're out of Gnome Acres. And I did them toe up with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I've got just a 2x2 rib to finish them off. They are just a tiny bit small. I think I tried on the first one and realized that, and I just made the second one to match. They might be a gift, or I might have to tear out the toe maybe and add on a little extra. I'm not sure. I have a lot of extra yarn, so I do have some room to kind of fool around with it, but my mom's feet are a little smaller than mine, so I'm thinking maybe if I give her these, I could find some maybe off-white or one like a red or green yarn, and I could just do the toes and heels with what I have left over, and my mom and I could have matching Christmas socks. So, of course, big plans. Who knows if that'll happen, but that's a thought. But I'm really happy with how they turned out otherwise. I really love the colorway. So even if I don't get to wear them, they were really fun to knit up, and I'm glad to be working on something new. So the next thing that I have finished is baby blanket number 1. Actually, I think this is the side that actually looks a little better. So it's actually, I'm really happy with the size. I was a little worried that it was going to be kind of small, but it actually worked out pretty good. I didn't measure it, and I don't have children, so I don't know if this is actually a functional size, but it's made out of Knit Picks Felici in the Beyond the Wall colorway. And then this is just their Knit Picks Stroll in the Dove Heather colorway. And I held it double for the whole blanket. Just happened to match the stripes, so that was pretty cool. This is for a gift for a friend of mine who lives back in Buffalo, who's having a little boy at the end of May. I thought he was actually due in June, but I guess he's actually due at the end of May. And we'll be going home towards the end of June, so that it's perfect. I'm just debating if I'm going to mail it home so she has it sooner, closer, when the baby actually arrives, or if I'm going to wait and deliver it in person. So, on to works in progress. I've got another baby blanket. So this is, again, Knit Picks Felici. And I'm holding it double, but as you can see, it's more of the marled look because the stripes weren't matched up. And I actually really like this effect as well. So, I'm almost out of yarn with the stripes. So when I finish those, I will be switching over to this pink. And I think that works pretty well. Kind of guessed by watching it looking at it on the computer screen. I think that works pretty well. And then, so this one will probably be about the same size as the other one. These are size 8 needles, fingering held double. They're good, just sit, watch TV, knit. But being the end of April, I've got quite a bit of work to do before the end of June when that baby is due. This is also a friend back in Buffalo who is having a baby girl. And yeah, so I'm really excited. She's actually due like the weekend that I'm coming home. So I may not actually get to see that baby. But I'm happy that I'll maybe be able to drop off the gift as, while I'm home. So that's pretty fun. My next work in progress that I've been doing is my Color Affection. Last time I showed you this, it was just the dark orange. Now I have some striping.
There you go.
I did really enjoy working on this week, and then I kind of set it aside and started working on some other things like the baby blankets that needed to be finished for the babies. But this is just Cascade 220. No, not Cascade 220. Cascade Heritage, I believe. It's the fingering weight of Cascade. And I don't have the colorways with me, but my third color is going to be this green, which I think is going to be a fun little pop of color. And so, yeah, that's that. I'm really enjoying it. It's just nice and simple, but the stripes make it a little potato chippy, as they say. So that's kind of fun. My next work in progress is my Ocean Bound. And yeah, I've got a little further. So here's my green little marker of where I was last time I recorded. So I finished up that garter. I'm maybe halfway through the lace, and I think I have one more section of the garter before I do a bigger lace section. I'm enjoying it. Again, I just kind of set it aside because the baby blankets kind of became my focus, and I finished the socks, and I like to work on a number of different projects, but because of that, I don't tend to actually work on all of them at the same time. So let me show you one more thing that I started working on. Give me one moment. I started a new pair of socks. I just have the toe. I don't even think I'm done with the toe. I think I still have 1 or 2 more increases to do. And this is in that Lost Lakes colorway that I think I showed it to you last time. I was thinking of using it in the baby blanket, but then decided against it. So I decided to cast it on. I think these are size 1 carbons needles. I like the carbons needles because they're lightweight, but they still feel sturdier in my hand than like wooden needles. I've broken a couple of needles, so they do feel sturdier. But the little metal tips, and then like there's the metal between the carbon at the join, they do catch the yarn occasionally, and it's not a huge deal. It just, kind of slows me down a little bit, but nothing huge. But yeah, so that's my purse knitting project. I take it to work in the off chance that I have some time to knit on it at lunch or anything. I don't know. There's no traffic or anything in this area, so it's not like I ever get stuck in traffic for hours upon hours. So that's a good thing, right? But anyways, now I'm rambling on. Let's see. I think that's everything as far as the knitting. So if that's all you're here for, then thank you so much for watching. I know not everybody is interested in the rest of, day-to-day life or my cooking adventures. So thank you so much for stopping by if this is all you're going to watch. But next, I will be talking about a few cooking adventures I've had this week. I made a couple things in baking wise. I made chocolate chip cake, which was actually I'm gonna knit while I talk to you guys. Hopefully it won't distract me too much, but I tend to play with my hands if I don't have something going on. So let's see. So my chocolate chip cake, it's basically a vanilla cake, and you just put cinnamon sugar and chocolate chips in like layers, 2 different layers of cake with the cinnamon sugar and the chocolate chips in between. And oh my goodness, this was delicious. Super easy, so delicious. I never would have thought to put cinnamon sugar in between with like a chocolate chip cake. I'm actually thinking about next time I make chocolate chip cookies, maybe put some cinnamon in, because the cinnamon was just delicious. It like made the whole cake. It made quite a lot. I probably gained about 3 pounds eating that, between even having shared it, with Richard and with my coworkers. It was a lot of cake. I made like a 9x13 pan of cake. So if you want to make something easy that will, go a long way, I think that's a good choice. I definitely recommend it. I will put links in my show notes for you for where you can find that recipe. I didn't really make any changes, so you can just follow the link there. The next thing I made this week, baking wise, was lemon shortbread cookies. I have a lemon tree outside my apartment, and they're Mayer lemons, I guess I've been told. I don't actually know different kinds of lemons, but I've been told they're Mayer lemons. And so I kind of was looking for something that I could do. I was thinking like a lemon cake maybe, or just something with the lemons, because we get a decent amount of lemons. And I mean, we can only make so many chicken dishes with lemon and all that. So I decided to make them. It was just a basic shortbread cookie recipe. Add in the zest of a lemon. Ta-da, done. So easy. The only thing was that the recipe said put the dough in the fridge for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. And so I put the dough in the fridge for about 2.5, 3 hours, because we went for a hike and it was like rock hard. So I don't know if that's my fridge or if that just, is how it works. But so I had to then like warm up the oven a little bit and warm up the dough to bring it to room temperature so that I could actually roll it out and do that. And then I just made like a simple icing with lemon juice and confectioner's sugar. Very good. It was really tasty. We pretty much finished the dozen cookies that I made in like one day. So I still have half of the dough frozen in my freezer, so I'll probably make those later in the week and take them to work to share. The next thing that we've been doing as far as our cooking adventures is we made yogurt this week. So I don't know, like it just seemed to me, I always thought yogurt would be really difficult, but it was super simple. We just used our slow cooker, pressure cooker, and we brought the milk up to 180 degrees, then let it cool down to I think it was 113 when we actually added the cup of regular yogurt. And then we mixed it together. We closed up the pressure cooker, covered it with a towel, and left it on the counter for overnight. And in the morning, we technically had yogurt just like that, but then to make it Greek yogurt, you have to just strain out the whey. And so we just had a couple strainers and coffee filters, and we strained out that yogurt. And it's yogurt. It tastes like yogurt. It's just plain, no flavoring right now, but we did get some of that vanilla coffee sugar, syrup for flavoring it, because we do prefer like vanilla yogurt over plain yogurt. So we're going to try that, and since we had it, I added it to my coffee this morning, and that was quite delicious. So I will have to be careful to not add too much of it too frequently, but I might treat myself from once in a while. So that's everything cooking wise. We are enjoying cooking here on out. We do a lot of cooking, a lot more than we used to, and we definitely enjoy it. We're really having fun trying out new recipes. So if there's anything you think we might enjoy, feel free to share it on this week's episode thread on Ravelry or on the blog. So for active endeavors, let's see, it's been a couple of weeks. So last weekend we went to San Diego. I had a conference for work, just a continuing education conference. So not very active, honestly, but interesting. Need to get the continuing ed to maintain my license, so it had to be done. And that was a 2-day conference. Richard got to adventure around the city a little bit. And then on Sunday, before coming home, we stopped at the San Diego Zoo. And I will share some pictures from that. A lot of the animals were awake, and so I got some really good pictures. They were moving around. Sometimes you go to a zoo, and if it's too hot or, I don't know, maybe too cold, all the animals are sleeping, right? But these animals were not sleeping, and we got some really fun pictures. My only complaint about the San Diego Zoo is that they have these buses that you can ride. It's free. It's included in your ticket. But we chose not to because we wanted to walk. But they drive in the same area where people walk. And so you're basically like, if you choose to walk, you're inhaling the fumes of the bus for as they pass you on the hill or whatever. So that was a little unpleasant, but overall it was really awesome. I have a thing for panda bears, so I got to see the panda bears. We actually went first thing in the morning, and then we went and saw different animals, and we circled around back to the panda bears before we left. And then so that was definitely worth the trip. I would recommend you check it out if you are ever in San Diego. And then this weekend, we met up with a friend of mine or a coworker friend, and we went for a hike in San Luis Obispo, just local. We actually biked over. It was only like 2-3 miles from our house, and we went for a hike called the Serenity Swing. And basically it was just like this weird little hike down like a dirt road, and then you end up going like through these really grassy hills that kind of reminded us of like New Zealand, Ireland kind of deal, and there was some cows there and everything. And then at the very top there's a swing on a tree, so that's where they got the name for the trail, was Serenity Swing. So of course we had to try out the swing, and I haven't been on a swing in so long, so that was kind of fun. And the views were just incredible. It's a pretty high point comparatively to the rest of the area, so we could see the ocean, we could see just hills forever around it. It was beautiful. And then the other little quirk about the hike was that there was a trampoline. On the way up, we missed the part of the trail that took us to the trampoline, So we kind of went down and backtracked a little bit to get to the point where we were able to go on the trampoline. And that was fun. I also haven't been on a trampoline in a long time. It seemed pretty new. There wasn't any rust or anything like that, because that was one thing I was worried about. I'm like, okay, if this has been out here in the rain, rust, all that, do I really want to be jumping on it? Well, yeah, I guess so. There wasn't any rust or anything though, so it was good. And it was just fun. It was a neat hike, good workout. I was a little sore this morning, and yeah, we look forward to checking out some other areas in other trails in this area, because there's tons of stuff just real close. So I think that's it for today. And the last thing I do want to mention as well is we have the contest going on for naming the sheep. We do have a couple of names. I do enjoy them very much. I would like to get a few more suggestions before I open it up for voting. So please come over, give your vote for the name for our mascot, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I'm Carrie. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knitical Therapy. You can find me on Goodreads as K Willa. And you can find all the show notes, and including links to everything I've talked about, at kniticaltherapy.com. We do have a podcast group on Ravelry. It's the Knitical Therapy Podcast Group. Please come over and join. Introduce yourself. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you again next time. Bye.